Mr. Eddie S. Henderson, Sr. offered more than 3 decades of public education and public service accomplishments, experience, acumen in athletics and high school sports. He was a product of his own environment and was dedicated to changing the way of life for so many students. Mr. Henderson, a very spirited man, was often seen cheering his students' great works throughout the hallways of many schools during his tenure with Atlanta Public Schools. As a teacher, a coach, and later athletic director, he was a huge proponent of developing his teams into well-rounded student athletes.
For me, this was a very special occasion, very special event. I remember 10 years ago standing right here in this very spot, renaming the field after Eddie S. Henderson Stadium. And as I stated earlier, Eddie S. Henderson, people like Eddie S. Henderson, Walter Wade, those are people that I'm able to stand on their shoulders and continue to do the work for our student athletes as well as our coaches. So for me, this was a very monumental day.
For me, definitely humbling. I feel so honored. I honestly really feel even more proud when people call me and say, I just rode by your dad's stadium, And so it's just a really strong pride that I have. Again, just really honored, and I'm so proud that we have a legacy to pass on to our children. Our kids are very young, so they never got to know my dad personally. And so to hear people say such kind things about him and honor his legacy and honor his work and just repeat everything that he really worked hard for, so I'm really proud of that.
So when you see the name on the stadium and someone asks, who was that? As Jordan stated, tell the story that it may not just be bragging, but it is inspiring. That it may lift up those who may feel like they're voiceless, may feel that they're hindered, they may feel like they don't have a way. But let them know there's a man that has stood here and fought the good fight.
Well, so for me, I actually coordinate Henderson Stadium. And, in the athletic department, you never really have an idea of how much history has come before you. But as a young man who gets to step in now and walk in the footsteps of a man such as Eddie S. Henderson Sr., it makes me proud.
Yeah, I definitely will say, whenever we come down here, it's always nice to drive by and see our grandfather's name on the stadium and to have that recognition, especially for us, not being born or living in the same time period as him, and just being connected to him in a sense of way, just learning about him. Even with this today, I learned a little bit more about my grandfather, and it makes me feel more connected to him and more connected to the family who knew him at the time. There have been times where we've come down for family events and we'll be walking by and he'll be like, oh, that's granddad. And it's this whole little joyous moment almost. And I think it just brings the family together and connects us to a larger purpose.